Into the Bearcat Den on Coleman's Live 95 and on Coleman's Live 95's Facebook page. I'm Tommy Warhurst alongside Coleman head coach Trent Walker. Coach, we are back in the Bearcat Den once again. Thank you for taking time to step in here and be a part of the Bearcat Den.
Love being a part of it. Love having this. Love having a chance to tell some of the things that are going on, week to week in the program. So thank you for having us on.
We had a road game last week down at Mortimer, Jordan. Not a region game, but a game that gets us prepared to get into the region. Let's go back and look back at last week's game just a little bit. I think had somebody told you going into last week's game would be 0-0 after a quarter and a half, would you have believed that?
We would have taken it defensively. I know that.
Yeah.
And we also, we did know that their defense was going to present some problems, but to say that we'd hold the quarterback and those receivers and that running back, that he's an all-state wrestler. I mean, he was an incredible athlete on film, but even better in person. If you'd said it had been 0-0, I said I'll take it.
Yeah.
Same with Bob Jones. You're going to be 0-0, have given up 0 points and 2 quarters of the first game, second game, I'd take it right now.
So we went the first quarter scoreless, and then Jordan got on the board there in the second quarter or so, and we went into the half down 14-0. What was your message to the team at the half?
If you don't mind, I'll step back even.
Okay,
I was proud of we had the adversity in the punt. We had the punt.
Yeah, snapped it over his head.
We had Tyler Brock had an injury that we were unsure about, him being able to do the job the way he wanted to do it. And so we had JD step in there. It was not something he's been doing as much. And, those punts on the road, that ball was snapped there 14 yards back. It looks different. I know people see it and, they don't know, just catch the ball. It's not like that when you're out there. You're about to be rushed. That 14-yard snap's a lot longer than anything he's used to catching. So we have the drop there, but then our defense gets to stand. I mean, that was we talk about sudden change in a game to be able to take adversity when it shows up. You expect to go play defense, but you expect to go play somewhere around midfield and to go down there in their scoring area and stiffen up. I was proud of that. And so to give that kind of our team some life there for a bit, extend that out, and then again, unfortunately, I was, looking back at it when they scored. It was 27 seconds to go in the half.
Yeah.
You just wish, I used a timeout down there because I believe, our guys were tired.
Yeah.
From a drive they had sustained to get down there for that second score. You always look back, hindsight's 20/20, but I believe in timeouts and getting our guys fresh. And I thought Coach Hopper had a great call we had pressure. We were bringing pressure right down his face. And the running back stepped up, again, an all-state player, and made a great pass protection block and allowed the quarterback to get the ball off. And if you look at the film, that ball was threaded through there. It wasn't some easy throw and catch for those guys. So, as a competitor, you tip your hat and say they made a play. But, man, this 2 weeks in a row, we've given up one right before the half, literally less than a minute for both of them. And what that does momentum-wise and just psyche, those are tough. So if we can eliminate that out of our play, we're going to take a big step forward.
And I'm glad you mentioned that about the defense because I didn't mean to overlook that, but you're right. It seems like we had more than one. We had a couple of great defensive stands there in the first quarter, and actually through the first 2 quarters, except for that last drive, really.
We turned them over, I think, twice. And they got some penalties on the side of that, but, sometimes penalties are created by the way you play defense. Sometimes offensive penalties are because the way you're playing on defense. They feel like they have to compromise, they have to hold or they do something else to get, the edge on you and they get caught doing it. So, there were some drives. Again, we didn't fit the run up as well as we're used to expecting to do on our linebackers. They did they pulled a tackle instead of a guard, and that's, as coaches, a puller's a puller. But for young guys who've not played linebacker, I told you, all preseason and summer, we have new faces at linebacker. That's the most inexperienced group we have. So you sit back and you say, we're going to have to learn from that. We've had a good plan in place this week to help them see better their keys better and teach it better. And it's our responsibility. That's why I call us coach. To find solutions to our problems that show up on Friday night. So linebacker crew's leaving this week a lot more confidence on that. But like I said, there were some key stops. But again, just a key when you're learning to play offense with a young offensive group, points are a premium, and that showed up again Friday night. But go ahead.
I'm sorry, Coach. Offensively, they were keying in on Weston Keel. They were dialed in to stop him wherever he went to. And we had a little bit of trouble throwing the ball the first half. That kind of changed in the second half. We'll talk about the second half in a moment. But just talk about how they focused in on Weston, but yet he continued to pound it and stick his head in there and run hard.
Yeah, I want to brag on our offensive staff. At Bob Jones, again, you got Luke Hackbarth, new offensive coordinator this year. He's been an offensive coordinator in Oklahoma at a very high level, a lot of confidence in him. But when you're building an offense, sometimes you don't have all the things that people assume you have. I mean, you have to build it. I mean, it's like anything in furniture, it's piece by piece, and you're going to get there, and you are, but you don't have all the pieces right from the start. You have to grow those things. And so we were obviously sophomore quarterback against Bob Jones. We were going to focus on the run. And then there were times that we just could not. We didn't have the tools to exploit some of the heavy run fronts we saw. And so to grow within 1 week to some of the balance we saw, offensively, I thought at times we kept Mormon Jordan off balance. It was run, play action for a big pass, and even some ones we didn't hook up on in the first half, they were there. We were at least attempting them, which makes the defense say, oh, wait a minute. Yeah. So I was just so proud of the growth we saw in the game plan, from not only the coaches to come up with it, but our young people to grow with the plan. And so, we didn't connect as many. We had an interception for our first turnover of the season there. But again, that's something that, again, the pass was there. We just got a little late, reads and things like that. We're going to speed up. But I thought the second half, and we headed that way, everything kind of settled down. And then I thought that was some of our best football, was those 2 quarters of football.
So we went in at the half down 14-0. Again, what was your message at the half?
I told you we'd be here. I know there's going to be adversity on the road. We've not played here. For whatever reason, Coleman does not play well there. I joke it's because we're so used to having we have 3 different cell phone carriers here that get good reception down there. You got to have a satellite phone.
You're right.
And so it just tows everybody off. And the environment there, they had a good environment that night. It's kind of like in a little, I don't say a bowl, but you're kind of tucked back there away from the interstate and stuff like that. So we talked about being a young team going on the road, there'd be adversity. And so what are we going to do about it now? And so we talked about it. And so my challenge to them was settle down. We're going to take this kickoff return. We work really hard on kickoff return. It's one of my teams that I kind of run myself. I just love that unit and what it can bring to a team. And I said, look, we're going to go get a great return. I didn't say score. Yeah. But I kind of thought, I felt like we were setting up. I was going to change one guy's block on that. And I thought that might catch them off guard out of the half. And sure enough, the scheme was changed and it was good, but that player, Colby Holt, just made a play. He made me look, our coaching staff look good there. Coach Clayton, our special teams coordinator, been working hard with those guys to get those leverage on the blocks. So we separated the C and he hit it, and it was a beautiful thing to see. And so I just told him, if we get a great drive and offense go score, we're going to be 1 score away. You're acting like 14 points. Feels like four scores. It doesn't. We're going to go score right here, and it's going to be a 1-score game, and we're right back in it. And that's, when you got a young team, they don't always believe that. But once we scored, you saw you were down there, the whole sideline dynamic changed.
Dylan Deemert and Nick McCartley were on the call up top last week. I was blessed to be down on the sidelines, and I caught you coming out of halftime. Talk to you about the first half and ask you, what do we need to do to turn things around here in the second half? And you said kind of what you went through now, but you said what you said. It's going to start right here with this kickoff. Yeah. And Colby Holt took the opening kickoff of the second half, 91 yards.
Was it 91?
For a touchdown.
I didn't really sure how many yards it was.
I'm wondering that got to be close to a school record on kickoff returns.
We can't be much further back than that. And so we talk about quick six, not kick six, and for our Bama fans, but quick six. The kickoff return has a chance to be a quick six. Yeah. 8 seconds, and you're all it can take. You can go an 80-play drive. 80 yards, 12-play drive, or you can go gut them right here and have a quick 6. So we talk about that. We talk about just the momentum it can create inside the team and the game, and so to have that. And then we also say it's the first play of offense. Well, that's a pretty good first play of offense right there. And
that first play of offense there, like you talked about, gave us the momentum. Our defense came out and stopped them, and then that allowed us to drive down just a few plays later down to their 20 when Colt Calvert got Morgan Holly in the end zone for a 7-yard touchdown.
Yeah, just a methodical drive. I really felt like we had them on their heels in terms of we were starting to, again, the momentum shift. That kick, plus our defense got stopped. The momentum in the field, you can just feel it change. And then we put together a good drive with no penalties, positive plays. We stay ahead of the chains. And then, we got down there, and Coach Hack Barth calls a play-action pass from there. They showed a huge, heavy run front against our heavy set. And, he said, Coach, we good? I said, absolutely. Let's go for this. We're here to win the game. And Colt sold the play action, and Morgan Holly was running free in the back. Jack Carew was actually open. It's funny. He's pointing at Morgan. Throw it to him. Yeah. Throw it to him. There's the receiver. Jack does a great job. He's very athletic. He doesn't give himself enough credit, but it was funny. He recognized how wide open he was, and don't throw it to me. Throw it to that one. Yeah. And Colt found him on stride, and so it was. Again, you watch our sideline just erupt. to tie it up. And then from there, 0-0. Nothing else has mattered before that. All that matters is what we do from here.
Yeah, we're tied 0-0. There's 11 minutes left to go in the ball game, and Mortimer Jordan gets a 50-yard pass. We held them good on defense. We give up a long 50-yard pass. They go up 21-14.
Yeah, I promise you, nobody's more upset than Tucker Willingham. He came over to me as soon as that plays, Coach, I'm sorry. I said, man, you can't worry about it now. He got a little bit of separation from him and his receiver, and that quarterback was good enough to throw it on such a rope. You get used to playing against your teammates and just different teams. You can sometimes close that window, but when you're playing an elite arm talent like that and he zipped it in there, it's too late to recover that ground. So just that little bit of separation. So a lot of film to learn from that play. I think if he gets put in that opportunity again, he's had a good week of practice, just helps him focus more, So I know that he's hard on himself, but it's never one play. We'll talk about that as we get here to the end of the game. But it's never one play, but all these plays add up.
Yeah.
But the ownership that I felt from young people, that was what was neat. Is that as these players are having these, I'm using the term mistakes. They understand where they may have missed their assignment or something like that. Their keys. They're coming up to me as a head coach and saying, "It's my bad, coach."
Yeah.
That ownership, as opposed to making it somebody else's fault. We talk a lot about don't point the finger out, point the finger in. And so guys are taking that on, and taking ownership of that. And that's, how can you be mad at a young person that says that's my fault, coach? Who takes ownership right there in the heat of a battle with 1,000 people watching. He said that's my fault. And so obviously it's never one. We could have got better pass rush. We could have done different things. It's never your one person's fault. But I appreciate his ownership of that.
Yeah. So here we are on the road. We're down 21-14 halfway through the fourth quarter. Our offense puts together a drive, goes down the field running, throwing, play action pass like you talked about. Then with 5:27 left to go, we slip in Win Shannon. I don't think they had a clue who Win Shannon was, didn't know the kid's arm, what he plays or so forth. He goes in there and throws a halfback reverse pass downfield for 43 yards. Colby Holt is all by himself and goes to the end zone, and now we're 21-20.
Yeah, if you stepped away for a bathroom break during the heat timeout, you missed a wrong. Our drone film missed the play. He thought this is a great chance to change out a battery. It won't be one play won't matter. So we have it on sideline view, but the drone doesn't even get it because again, you think it's a natural time to do that. Well, we thought also it'd be a great time to kind of catch everyone off guard. Mm-hmm. Being a young offense, we've been kind of conservative, and here we are. We come out with I guess you'd say a trick play, a gadget play. But there's some plays that when you see them in person, and film doesn't do it justice. This is actually the reverse. I thought it was a good play live. I'm here the call. I know what's about to happen. And, I'm obviously telling the offensive huddle, don't talk to Win. We don't talk to Win in a normal huddle. Like they started talking to Win. We don't talk to him. Like he's always very, he's such a great, mature young man. He's listening. He's trying to learn, as a backup quarterback. He's trying to hear the call, play the mental game. Like he's always around the huddle. But I saw some coaches and players start talking to him. Like, no, I'm a defensive guy, right? My background's defense, so I'm used to having the binoculars. And they're talking at 24 for some reason. Now 24 comes out, I'm alert. So there's the chess game within the chess game. And so I was like, hey, just don't really talk to him. You can talk to him, but don't look at him. If you're talking to him. And so he's a cool guy. He's a cool customer. So mature beyond his years. He goes out there. And my point is that actually is more impressive on film. Seeing it on film, I realized what an amazing throw it really was. Like I saw the arc of the ball, and I'm seeing Colby running. I'm like, I think he's going to get under this thing because he threw it up. But it was a better play on film than in person. That's hard to say. I've not had many plays in my career that you'd say that.
Yep. Hit him in stride for the touchdown. We draw within 1 point, 21-20. Everything is electric. I'm talking sidelines are going nuts. Everybody's excited. We get in there, and, you said the game doesn't come down to one play, and it didn't that week, but we missed the point after, and we lose 21-20.
Yeah, nobody, again, feels more responsible for that miss than JD. And I said, look, it requires a snap. It requires a hold. There's protection. There's so many variables there. At the end of the day, you were trying to make it. You know what I mean? We just didn't. And so, I know he took ownership Monday in front of the team. I thought, what a mature young person to stand in front of your teammates and say, guys, y'all worked so hard to come back in that game, and I've got this job to do. I'm sorry I let you down, but I'm going to work daily to make sure I'm in that position again, that I'm ready. Just, again, things like that are going on that people will never know. Even though we're 0-2, there's so many positive markers of accountability and brotherhood and ownership and teamwork and love and all these things that we talk about inside our walls are manifesting itself as we go through these adverse situations. And so I couldn't be prouder of the team's response. I said, guys, I told them in the locker room after the game, when I turn the film on Monday, as a head coach, I've seen enough football. I know plays that I'm going to be able to say this was just as bad as that. Yeah. It just didn't get exposed like the kicker does. It wasn't as obvious and visible for all to see. That's the hard part. It's the pressure of being a kicker. You know, right? Everybody knows your name. Everybody knows your name. You know, one way or the other. And so, what an incredible tough job stepping there again. And everybody's focused on. We're all guilty, right? Oh, it's 21-21. No, it's not yet. There's a job to do. And so, whether it helps him refocus or other players on our team refocus about do one play at a time. Whatever that leads to, we'll be better because of the only loss. I tell the guys the only true loss is a loss where you don't get better because of it. If you take the lessons from it, then there's no loss in terms of the program.
And those two losses don't hurt us at all in our quest for the playoffs. Those two, 7A team and a 6A team that's outside of our region. We start region play tomorrow night as the Bearcats travel to Athens. I'll be on the call on the radio tomorrow night here on Coleman's Live 95.5 FM. Myself on play-by-play, and Dylan Rice will be Dylan Rice. Looking at Kevin Rice, my real estate broker just texted me at the same time. No, Dylan Deemert is going to be on the call with me tomorrow night here on Coleman's Live 95. You can hear it here on the radio live at 95.5 FM or download the Coleman's Live 95.5's app and listen anywhere in the world, or you can also watch it on our Facebook page. We'll dive into Bearcats and Golden Eagles when we come back here on the Bearcat Den here live on Coleman's Live 95.
Hey, Coleman drivers. Are you tired of the hassle and confusion when it comes to buying a car? Well, we've got fantastic news for you. Meet Adam Aker at Mitch Smith Chevrolet in Coleman, your go-to guy for a no-nonsense car buying experience.
Hey, folks. Adam here. Buying a car shouldn't be stressful. That's why at Mitch Smith Chevrolet, we pride ourselves on transparency, trust, and there's never any BS at MS.
That's right. Adam Aker and the Mitch Smith Chevrolet team are changing the game.
I live and breathe Coleman, just like you. So when you step into our showroom, you're not just another customer, you're family. Together, we'll find the perfect vehicle to fit your needs and budget. Remember, Adam Aker, Mitch Smith Chevrolet, what's not to love?
When it comes to securing a home loan, you want someone who knows the ropes and can guide you every step of the way. That's where Josh Phillips of Maven Mortgage comes in.
I'm Josh Phillips of Maven Mortgage Group. You can reach me at 256-338-2920. And whether it's your first time buying a home or your fifth time, we'd love the opportunity to serve you and your family in all your home financing needs.
Josh Phillips and Maven Mortgage. Their name says it all. Experience you can trust, knowledge that works for you. With one phone call, you can take the next step toward your dream home with Josh Phillips of Maven Mortgage. Your home, your future. Josh Phillips at Maven Mortgage. 256-338-2920. 256-338-2920. NMLS number 338177.
When you make the right decision, it feels good, like picking the perfect place to have dinner or choosing a good night's sleep over binge watching TV all night. It feels really good to make the right insurance decisions too. That's why State Farm agent Tisha Brewer is right here in Coleman County to help you select the right protection at the right price. Tisha will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. With State Farm agent Tisha Brewer, it's easy to make the right choice.
I'm Tisha at Tisha Brewer State Farm. We're located behind Cook's Pest Control at 909 Fisher Street. You can reach us at 256-734-4645. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Looking to buy or sell your home? You can trust a team that treats you like family.
We're the Warhurst Team Realtors at SR4 Realty, a husband and wife real estate duo with deep roots and unmatched knowledge of the market.
We know every corner, every neighborhood, and what it takes to get you the best deal.
And our top priority, you. From your first showing to final closing, we're by your side every step of the way. Because when you work with us, you're not just a client, you're family. We're the Warhurst Team Realtors at SR4 Realty. Real estate with heart, hustle, and hometown care.
You can find us on Facebook or Instagram at the Warhurst Team Realtors.
Welcome back into the Bearcat Den here on Coleman's Live 95.5 and on Coleman's Live 95.5's Facebook page. Tommy Warhurst alongside Coleman head coach Trent Walker. Coach, tomorrow night we open up region play at Athens. Historically, they're big. They're going to be sound. Talk about what you've seen from Coach Gross's Eagles.
Check. We talked before the break. You said it. We've talked about that this week. Whether we'd beat Bob Jones and Mortimer Jordan by 4 scores. Or we lost by 4 scores. Literally none of that affects this outcome. So each week we're trying to be 1-0 against that opponent. Nothing matters except this week leading up to it, putting together a game plan and a practice week. But in terms of the team, we're going to see they've still got the big linemen on both sides of the ball. They've got some running backs that if they get going, they can really go. So kind of button them up. And obviously they're going to see success by Mormon Jordan running gap scheme, power and counter. So they're going to probably lean heavy to try to run us out of the stadium earlier and see if we've made our adjustments. I think it'll be a run-heavy attack early, and then if we can hold up, then make that quarterback beat us. He's a guy that I'd want to hand the ball off to them too. He can make some throws. They're playing kind of a two quarterback. They're kind of a wildcat quarterback and then a drop back quarterback. So I think they're trying to find their way in that regard. But they got big linemen and good running backs, and so it starts there. Defensively, going to be kind of another too high defense that we've seen, kind of spread around the whole field and kind of make you beat them through long drives. So they're not really giving up explosive plays. We were surprised when, after our game to turn on and see the Buckhorn score, because we have a common opponent there.
Mm-hmm.
We've played them week 10. We know what their kind of makeup is. And so for Buckhorn to play, we wanted to see that tape. And you saw, that Buckhorn kind of honestly rattled Athens in terms of they played with great passion and enthusiasm, and Athens wasn't so sure about how to respond to that. They're used to being the energy drivers for Coach Gross. He does a great job with energy in the program. You can feel it off him. I think I try to be similar. I think we have similarities like that. We're both high, passionate, Friday night guys, as you probably saw on the sideline, even closer into action. And so it'll be interesting to see how I think our guys are ready to compete. This game, Coach Gross and I have talked this week. He's outstanding, first class, and nothing but giving me all the answers. From hosting me to just history of our game. I've been an assistant since he's been a head coach there, and kind of come full circle now to be going head coach versus head coach is kind of unique. And he talked about his history as basketball coach there. So it's been neat to kind of get to know him on this level, because all I know is the guys jumping up doing jumping jacks, during the game and yelling at referees and that kind of stuff. And so he said it's always been a war. And I look back and statistically he's not wrong. In the last, we've played 61 times and that's been separated by 122 points, which sounds like a lot, but not when you talk over 61 games, that's 2 points a game difference. Mm-hmm. And so this is going to be, I told our guys, if we can survive the early storm, they're going to bring a ton of energy. They love to have high energy home games early. You survive that first quarter, 0-0, like these games we've been in, we're in for a 4-quarter game, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Watch our guys go. We had a great offensive game plan, great defense. I'm super excited. We've prepared better. Last week we talked about, you and I, that we were still learning how to do my game week. We have a very precise, detailed plan for each day we want to accomplish. Monday is what we call Tell the Truth Monday. We want to make sure we tell the truth of what happened Friday night, the good, the bad, the ugly. We got to own our stuff, coaches and players. That was my fault here. This is, we got to be better here. Then Tuesday's Blue Collar Tuesday. It's our toughest work day. And then Wednesday's win the game Wednesday, and Thursday's, play the game Thursday. And so we have these detailed plans, and to put those days back to back last week was hard for our guys. They've not had that much direction in each day of the approach of a game week. And so I was a little frustrated. I told them we're not. And honestly, I think the film led them to underestimate our opponent. And we talked about we respect everybody we play. You give everybody the competitive advantage or benefit of the doubt when we step on the field that they're excellent. And we set our standard high because they're going to have a great plan for us. And so I don't want to be. I told you so this week. I want to go to bed on Thursday night knowing we've prepared, and that's where I am. Tonight I'll go to bed. We've had a great week of preparation. We couldn't ask more of the kids, the coaches. Let's go play football. That's what it's about.
Defensively, I think special teams is going to have to be on. If I remember right, in watching some film this week, Buckhorn returned a kickoff or a punt for a touchdown.
They blocked a punt for a touchdown. Yep.
And then I think defensively, too, one thing that I noticed is when the quarterback scrambles, he doesn't protect the football very well.
Yeah, and then that's our opportunity to get the ball out. We've not had takeaways. That's one thing. We haven't given the ball away but one time, but we really haven't had the takeaways that we thought we'd have. Preseason, we were creating some chaos with our offense, and so I thought that translated. We haven't. Athens has had 2 pick sixes, so you don't always count on that. So I'm very curious to see these two teams battle like that. I think the first quarter, if we can survive the surge of energy that's going to be in that stadium, I like where we're at, in terms of playing a 4-quarter game with them.
And if we can shut down the running game, it seems like when they throw the ball, they either want to throw a swing pass or they're just going to go deep, and it's a 50-50 ball. They catch it, they don't, or they get an interference call.
And we talked about that. We haven't been great at 50-50 balls down the field on our side. We've had some pass interferences we didn't need to have. We didn't have poise with ball. We got to have poise with ball in the air. Everybody in the stadium knows the ball's in the air. The ball's in the air. You still have to find a place to play with poise. So our young DBs have worked on that, and some of our veterans who who are being coached in a little different technique than they've had, have adjusted to those coaching points we've made. So I'm again, like you said, if we defensively, I think there's yards to be had there. They're kind of like they're going to make you beat them. And so we're going to have to make some plays offensively. But I think, putting your first offensive touchdown in the end zone, and not just one but two last week, gave our guys some confidence. I think, as I said, it took the kickoff return score to put a 7 on the board. Yeah. But once we did that, it was like it was theirs. Yeah. The offensive guys felt like that was theirs, and then we just went and went and went. And so I'm hoping we kind of continue that momentum with the football. Yep. And we've taken have a sophomore quarterback. He's taken unbelievable possession of the ball, taking care of the ball for us. Our receivers, I've not seen any of this sloppy ball out, ball handling position. So I'm super excited about this competitive opportunity for our young people and for our community. I think it's going to be a little bit warmer than it's been. So we've been talking a lot about hydration and nutrition and the role that's going to play. And so the kids know they've got a great plan. And now it's just about trusting their plan, their preparation, and turning it loose.
I haven't been to practice this week, or I haven't looked at any huddle practices, but I almost bet we've got a quick, slick fella on our punt block. We won't give that away, but watch for special things on our punt return team coming up tomorrow night.
Having Coach Kenny Glayton, a guy who's 20-year-plus vet in coaching, offensive coordinator for over a decade or two, and so to have his eye on helping me on special teams as our special teams coordinator, the things that we've been able to do on a weekly basis just enhance our program, and they're already showing up. I mean, I think we had some special teams mishaps, but we've had some things that the intentional approach of having a coach dedicated to that and the work he's done with our special teams, and then obviously my emphasis as head coach, I support special teams. I think it starts with the head coach. They're not special if the head coach doesn't make them special in the program. So that's been my job and my role to get the kids to buy into that. And so I think we're situated in a place where, again, this since 1996, this game has been decided by 4 points on average. So that's a touchdown. That's a score. That's a possession. That's where special teams play that huge role.
It's going to be a tough environment on the road tomorrow night. We need all of the Bearcat fans there tomorrow night in Athens to cheer on our Bearcats. If for whatever reason you can't make it, again, you can listen to it right here on Coleman's Live 95. Athens holds the overall advantage, wins and losses 29-25. Coach, what's it going to take for us to get our first win of the season and that be a region win too tomorrow night?
I've had a few players and even trainers say, hey, Coach, we're just that first one it must be a region win against Athens. Let's go get that one. That'll be special, and they're right. Again, us controlling the ball, be able to run Weston Kill, when we need to for 3 or 4 yards, and then be able to keep them off balance. I just love the balance we brought in the second half. I mean, it was run, play action fake off that. It was first down pass. Like we just had them kind of, again, the growth I saw from one week to another in our offensive game plan, our coaches and our kids' confidence, keeping that defense off balance is going to matter. And then can we hold up? And these guys, we're going to be giving up 60, 70, 80 pounds on offense, their offensive line to our defensive end, but what those 3 guys bring in the fight. I mean, they are for real defensive ends. I mean, they give us all. I mean, Max Dial's taking on 600 pounds, and digging in there, and so proud of the defensive line. They give us a chance every night. So if our linebackers can clean up our fits and play confident, I like where we are.
Yep. Coach, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night at Athens. Again, I'll be on the call play-by-play with Dylan Deemert. You can listen to it right here on Coleman's Live 95.5 and on our Facebook page.